Welcome to this clinical hypnotherapy session to overcome the fear of fainting. The fear of fainting can feel so powerful, so convincing, that even the slightest sensation in the body can seem like a warning signal. A little lightness in the head, a shift in the vision, a moment of heat or of tension, and the mind can rush in with, what if I faint? What if I drop here, right now? And perhaps there have been times when those thoughts have made you avoid certain places, certain situations, and even certain people. Maybe you've stood in a queue and felt uneasy, sat on a train or in a warm room and wondered if you're going to be able to stay upright. Or maybe you've thought back over a time when you felt close to fainting and replayed it again and again, as if the mind were trying to protect you by keeping the fear alive. And yet, deep down, there's another part of you that already knows something important. It knows that your body has skills. It knows that you've stood and walked and moved through life thousands upon thousands of times without any problem at all. It knows that the fear of fainting is not the same as fainting. And it knows that that fearful story in your mind is not the whole truth about you. Right here, right now, you're going to begin teaching your unconscious mind something new. To let that deeper part of you to update its old patterns of behavior, so that the idea of fainting can quietly lose its grip, and the experience of being steady, of being grounded, and of being at ease can become more and more natural to you. You don't need to force anything. You don't need to analyze or argue with your own thoughts. Because when you relax deeply now, when you allow yourself to drift into trance, the mind learns in a different way. It learns through experience, through feeling, through new automatic responses that simply will begin to happen now. And so you can allow yourself, as you listen now, to be surprised by the ways your unconscious mind can ease away the old alarm, to soften those old what-if movies so that they lose their power, and to strengthen a new expectation that your body knows how to stay upright, knows how to rebalance, knows how to keep you safe. And you might notice, even now, that as you think about that old fear, a part of you is already beginning to loosen its hold around it, as if it's saying, I don't have to fight this. I can just learn something better. In a few moments, I'll guide you into a comfortable, focused state of hypnosis. You'll hear my words, and you may also hear other sounds around you. And that's fine. Those other sounds can just remind you that the world goes on outside, while you take this time inside, just for you. And as we go through this process, you can allow your unconscious mind to keep what's genuinely useful for your safety, to let go of the unnecessary fear, and to install new patterns of behavior for calm steadiness, so that ordinary situations can feel ordinary again. And so for now, just make yourself as comfortable as you can. Let your hands rest where they rest, and let your feet be supported. And if you haven't already, you can allow your eyes to close, knowing that you're about to learn at a deep level how to feel safer inside your own body, how to move through life with a steadier mind, and how to let that old fear of fainting simply begin to fade into the background now, while you become increasingly confident and comfortable. And with your eyes now comfortably closed, just become aware of your breathing. There's no need to change it. Just notice how all by itself the body breathes in and out, like a gentle wave coming and going. Now just allow your attention to drift to the little muscles around your eyes. Those tiny muscles that open and close the eyelids. And just imagine in your own way that you're sending a soft, warm feeling into those muscles, as if you're telling them that they can let go, that you can relax. Just imagine those eyelid muscles going loose and limp, becoming comfortably heavy, so relaxed that if you were to try to open them, they just wouldn't want to work. Not because you can't, but simply because you're letting them be so deeply at rest that they just stay closed. And just send that relaxation into your eyelids. Let them go loose and limp and comfortable. And when they feel as though they just don't want to work, gently test them and notice how they simply stay closed. That's it. And stop testing now, and let that relaxation begin to flow from the eyelids down through the face, across the cheeks, around the jaw. Allow the back of the neck to soften, as if all the tension has flowed out of your body. And as you allow that relaxation to drift down through the shoulders, you might even imagine that you could gently tell your shoulders you can drop just a little and a little more, feeling the upper arms soften, the forearms resting, your hands perhaps a fraction heavier or a little lighter. Whatever tells you that you're beginning to relax in your own way. And in a moment, I'll ask you to take a slow, deep breath. And as you breathe out, you can imagine that any remaining tension begins to flow down through the chest and back, down the spine, past the hips, the thighs, the lower legs, and all the way out through the soles of your feet. So take that slow, deep breath in now. Hold it for a comfortable moment. And as you breathe out, just let everything sink just a little deeper. You're doing so well. You're already showing your unconscious mind that you can create relaxation on purpose. And in a moment, we'll gently deepen this feeling so that your inner learning can become even more powerful, even more enjoyable. And as you rest here, listening to my voice, just imagine in your mind a staircase leading down to a place of deep calm. This staircase can look however you like. It might be made of wood or stone, or even made of light itself. And at the bottom, there's a quiet, safe place deep inside you. A place where the old fear can loosen its grip, and a new sense of stability and ease can grow strong. In a moment, I'll count down from 10 to 1. And with each number, you can imagine yourself taking a step down that staircase. And with each step, you can allow yourself to become twice as relaxed, twice as comfortably deep, down into a state where positive suggestions can really take root. Starting now at 10, stepping down, feeling a little more at ease. 9, perhaps noticing the colours on the walls or the feel of the handrail beneath the fingers. 8, each step taking you further away from the surface of concerns and closer to the calm at the centre of you. 7, feeling the weight of your body supported. Your mind can feel lighter, freer. 6, down deeper. The outside world can simply recede into the background. 5, halfway down now, noticing how even the idea of fainting begins to seem more distant, more like an old photograph than a present danger. 4, every muscle learning what it means to soften and to let go. 3, you're breathing easy, steady, natural, as each breath carries you downwards. 2, almost at the bottom now, where that quiet place waits within you. And 1, stepping off the staircase and allowing yourself to arrive in that calm, safe inner space. Take a moment to look around this inner place. It may be a room, a garden, a beach or a forest. Perhaps it's indoors or maybe outdoors. realistic or entirely imagined. Notice what the ground feels like beneath your feet in this place. Solid, secure and reliable. Just notice how simply by being here you can feel more grounded, more present, steadier inside. And you might notice now or in a little while that in this place your body feels different, more stable. It's as if there's a quiet strength running up through your legs, through the spine, supporting you from within. And as you rest here, you can allow each breath, each word you hear, to deepen this relaxation. And in this deep, comfortable state, your mind can begin to understand something very important. The fear of fainting is not an enemy. It's just a misunderstanding. A part of your mind trying too hard to protect you began to react to certain sensations as if they were guaranteed danger instead of just information. Perhaps at some point your body had a strong response. Maybe you were hot or tired or anxious or surprised, and a part of you decided that was terrible. That must never happen again. So it started to watch you more closely, too closely, checking every heartbeat, every breath, every tiny change in the way you feel. And the more it checked, the more it found, because bodies are always changing. Sometimes they're lighter, sometimes they're heavier, sometimes they're warmer, sometimes they're cooler. And that overprotective part of you began to sound the alarm far too early. At the first flutter, at the first wave, it would whisper or shout, "Careful, you might faint." And of course, those thoughts created feelings. The heart beat a little faster, the muscles tensed, the breathing changed. And then the overprotective part looks at those changes and says, "See, look what's happening. That proves it." As if it didn't realize that it was the one pushing the accelerator. And now, in this calm state, another part of you can gently step in. A wiser part, a steadier part. A part of you that remembers all the times you didn't faint. All the times you walked, you stood, you sat, you laughed, you lived, and nothing bad happened at all. And that wiser part can begin to send a new message. I hear the concern. I understand the intention to protect. I also know that most of these sensations are simply the body doing what bodies do. They're not emergencies. They're not proof that I will faint. They're just signals, and I can respond to them calmly. Imagine now that in your inner place you can see in front of you a tall, strong tree. The roots go deep into the earth. Its trunk is steady solid and unhurried. The branches may move gently with the wind, but the tree itself remains anchored, balanced and safe. And as you look at that tree, begin to imagine that you can borrow its steadiness. That from the soles of your feet, roots of calm strength grow downwards, spreading into the ground of your life, so that you can feel, even here, even now, a quiet sense of being supported from beneath. Let that feeling rise slowly up through your legs, through your hips, up your spine, into your chest, your shoulders, your neck and your head. You don't need to do anything special. Just allow yourself to notice how it might feel if your body were more like that tree, flexible where it needs to be, but with a deep, unconscious sense of balance and stability. And as you do this, the old picture of fainting can begin to change. Instead of a sudden, terrifying collapse, it can become something else in your mind. A rare event, if it happens at all, handled calmly, with your body quietly guiding you to sit or rest in plenty of time, should it ever need to. While most of the time you simply remain upright, present in the moment, and okay. Now bring to mind a situation that used to trigger the fear of fainting. Maybe it's standing in a queue or sitting in a warm waiting room. Perhaps it's traveling or being in a crowd. Just choose one situation. Not the worst, just an ordinary example. And see yourself there as if you're watching a movie on a screen. Notice what you're wearing, the place around you, the time of day. And now in that movie, let the old you appear, the one who used to worry, what if I faint? Watch as the old you notices a sensation, perhaps a wave of warmth, a lightness, or a shift in vision. And notice how, in the past, the mind would jump in with alarming thoughts. Then on that screen, gently press pause. Freeze the movie, just as the old fear would have started to rise. And now imagine the wiser, steadier you from the future stepping into that movie. This future you has a practiced calm. This future you trusts their body more. This future you has learned how to respond differently. Watch how this future you gently places a hand on the old you's shoulder and says, quietly but firmly, "It's okay. This is just a sensation. Breathe. Feel your feet. Let the body do what it knows how to do." See the old you respond. See the shoulders drop a little, the jaw loosen, the breathing slow down. And notice how the scene continues now with this new response. The body rebalances. The mind becomes curious instead of frightened. You remain upright or calmly choose to sit, feeling in control, feeling safe enough. And let that movie run all the way through to a successful, ordinary ending. Perhaps you complete what you're doing and leave the place, and later think, oh, that was okay. I handled that. And in the days and weeks ahead, when have you noticed that first little flutter of the old fear? You won't fight it. You don't argue with it. You simply breathe a little more slowly and deeply. Feel your feet on the ground and let your shoulders soften. And your body responds. You're giving it a clear, calm instruction instead of asking a frightened question. And you may have already noticed that something has shifted. Perhaps there's a sense that you're no longer at the mercy of every tiny change in your body. Perhaps there's a gentle excitement at the idea of moving through life with more freedom. And you don't have to make this a big, dramatic change. It can happen in small, almost unnoticeable ways. You simply find one day that you stood a little longer and felt okay. Or you travelled somewhere and realized afterwards that you didn't spend the whole time wondering if you'd faint. And each of those small experiences become new evidence for your unconscious mind. Evidence that you're more capable, more resilient, more stable than that old fear ever admitted. And even in the unlikely event that one day your body decided to sit you down or lie you down for a moment, you'd do so calmly, you'd breathe steadily, and you'd feel curious. And afterwards, you'd simply carry on, because you know now that your worth, your safety, your identity are not defined by a moment in time. And now it's time to bring this session to a close. In a few moments, I'll count from 1 to 5. And as I count, you can allow yourself to return to normal waking awareness. And as you do, you'll bring back with you a sense of calm confidence and the quiet knowledge that important changes have already begun within. 1. Beginning to become a little more aware of the room around you, any sounds, the air against your skin and the position of your body. 2. Bringing some gentle movement back into your fingers and toes, perhaps rolling your shoulders a little, letting your neck just loosen. 3. Taking a deeper breath now, feeling the energy gently returning to your arms and legs as if you've had a long, refreshing nap. 4. Becoming more alert, more present, bringing back with you the steadiness, the new patterns of behavior and the sense of, I can handle this. Just allowing your eyes to prepare to open. And 5, eyes open now, fully back in the room, feeling clear, grounded and refreshed. Take a moment to notice how you feel right now, perhaps a little quieter inside, perhaps more centered, more solid. And know that these are just the early signs of the deeper changes that will continue to unfold over the coming days and weeks. And from this moment on, each time you notice the first hint of the old fear, you simply remember what you've learned here. Your breathing naturally settles, your muscles release unnecessary tension, and your attention gently returns to what you're doing instead of what you were fearing. And every successful, ordinary moment becomes another quiet proof of your unconscious mind that you're safe in your own body. And even when you're not thinking about it at all, the deeper part of you continues to strengthen this new pattern, so that feeling steady, present and okay becomes more and more your natural way of being. Thank you for taking this time with me today to retrain your mind and body. As you move forward, you may begin to notice small, meaningful changes in the way you think, feel, and respond to situations that used to trouble you. Allow yourself to appreciate those changes, however subtle, and let them encourage you. You're learning at a deep level that you can trust your body and live more freely. Thank you for listening to this session, and until next time, goodbye and good mental health.